Hi there and welcome to this Chamsys One Take tutorial. This is a requested one all about timecode. I'm going to do this in two stages, really for simplicity. First of all, I'm going to explain how to connect Winamp and Winamp control and Winamp timecode to Magic Q. Then we'll talk about quickly how to actually program a cue list with timecode. This really concentrates on the idea that Magic Q will be receiving timecode. Anyway, it's nice and simple. First of all, you must have a piece of Chamsys official hardware, be it the MIDI and timecode interface, be it a mini wing, a PC wing, maxi wing, console, or SnakeSys ArtNet node, or the 2Universe USB node. But you have to have Magic Q PC out of demo mode. Okay, if not, this just won't work. Right, first things first. We are going to need, oh, we don't close that one. We are going to need Winamp. So we'll just start this up. Within Winamp, I have this piece of royalty-free music ready to play. Oh, didn't need to close that, did I? We also need Magic Q Media Center, which you'll find in the Start menu. All you need to do is have Magic Q PC installed, and that means you have this. This can basically be controlled on the same computer as Magic Q PC, or on its own if you're using a console, or even Magic Q PC on one computer and this on another one. It's entirely up to you. All you need to do is have them network together. So we'll go to Devices and Winamp Control, and nothing happens. And this is a bug that's always been around, and it drives me insane. The window has been drawn off screen, even though the mouse can't go off screen. If you've got a second screen connected to the computer, you can see it. 99 times out of 100, you don't. So after pressing Winamp Control, press nothing else other than hold down Alt, press Space, and select Move. Now move the mouse to anywhere you want. You should see the Move cross icon for the mouse cursor. Press one of the four standard arrows on your keyboard, not the numerical keyboard arrows, and you get a normal mouse cursor. Just give the mouse a nudge, and that's what you get back. There's your window. So now we can start configuring Winamp to be an ArtNet device for Magic Q to control. So we have one instance only, and I've decided to patch it into Universe 9. Which is ArtNet Universe 9, take note of that, DMX channel 1, and I'm selected to return timecode back into Magic Q. So let's go back to Magic Q, and we shall patch in the Winamp control. So we'll go to Patch, choose Head, just type in Win for Winamp, select it, and we'll have one head at Universe 10, because it's ArtNet 9, Chamsys 10, direction 1, enter, patch it, done. Now it creates, for some reason, a visible head. So let's just get it off screen so it's not annoying us in the visualizer. Okay, so to get control, all we have to do is press locate and we start playing back. But as volume is the only HTTP channel, when you press clear, you see it's still playing. So the way I always like to work is I use these last two playbacks for the same thing every time. So we select track 1, which is where we are, play, and record it, it's clear, and we'll call this one play, and select Winamp again, and nothing other than stop, and we'll put this here, so set stop. Now, after pressing clear, this playback will start the audio and this one will stop it. And we can stop by using the fader or the flash. Okay, nice and simple. That's it. Now we're controlling Winamp. We can start getting timecode back into Magic Q. So we'll do this by going to the setup window and the MIDI timecode section, and you see I've already got selected here the timecode decode option. Now you must have timecode generation disabled. Nice and simple. Select Winamp, and this clock counter should now appear in the main information bar. So I hit play, and you should see we should start counting. And now you can see why we need this stop submaster, because the clock is still counting through. And when you're trying to program things, it can be irritating, and it can also mean that during a show things are running that you don't want to be. So stop. and it sets back to 0. Okay, so really, that's all there is to do to get the timecode into Winamp. Now it's just a case of learning how to program things. What I've set up is just a quick chase. It's not an FX, it's just a chase of 6 steps, and each step adding another of the 6 lights to full intensity, and it'll just go round and round. What we need to do to get this to work in timecode is, first of all, get into cue timing mode. In the halt menu, if we highlight them and select timecode, and now you'll see the first of the issues we have to correct. Now, the way Winamp timecode works is that the first hour marker is actually the track number. So in this case, there's only one track, so it's only ever going to be 1-0000. But if you've got 2 or 3 tracks, say this third track would be 3-000. Okay, so here we're starting from zeros. So let's just highlight them all, select 1-, let's get them going from 15 seconds. Just why not? Because just for clarity. And the next thing we have to do is change the timecode from internal to the external. When it means internal within that submaster. So unless you start syncing playbacks, each one, you can run a submaster on internal timecode where you can give, in the wait column here, you can give exact times, but it's just going from the instant you press play or start the raise the fader on the submaster. It's just an internal within that sub, and it won't start running through the rest of them. So now we've selected, I'll show you this. So if we leave it on internal, it'll instantly start counting up here on its own from 0 seconds. If I now go to external, so it's waiting, it's listening to the timecode coming in, you'll see it's just sitting patiently doing nothing. Now, if we raise, there's 2 ways to control Winamp. One is raise this submaster, or you can just directly press play on Winamp. The same effect will get us going, and the only difference is I have to raise the volume manually. So if we just wait until 15 seconds, I should have maybe left it less time, they should all just jump on. Nice and simple. Okay, after every run through, you do need to release or it is very useful to release the playback and start again. Right, so now how do we start synchronizing things to the music? Well, there's 3 ways to do this. The long and short is each cue needs to have the correct time typed in. One is, as you've seen, you can just type them in here. So we can add this one to 1-0-16. Okay, 16 seconds, 0.6 frames. Okay, you can start getting down to frames. The next way, which I find extremely useful, because when you're playing back, you have full control of Winamp. So with the arrow keys, I can jump through the time, as you see. So if you're trying to cue to something and rehearse it over and over again, especially on the consoles, you've got this on a laptop, for example, playing through the music, you can just keep going over a section over and over again, the last few seconds, and with this wheel, when this window's selected, you can very gently nudge the time up and down and just repeat it over and over and over again until you get it just dead on. With slow fades and so on, it's not that important. You can be quite vague. Give a slow fade in, a few seconds fade time, and roughly start it at say 2 seconds, but if it's 2.5, you're not going to notice. But some dead on beats to the music, you will find that you'll lose a lot of time getting each cue in the submaster dead on. I did a show in the south of Spain a few months ago. It was a 3-minute song with over 190 cues, and it took me 2.5 days, 2 days to program. And that was because I had to go, the client specifically wanted in that 3-minute song, every beat, every change in the music, everything, something happened, and he wanted it to build up as a crescendo. So more and more, as I was going through the song, there was more and more things getting added in. each one of those had to be just locked in dead on, and I listened to that song thousands and thousands of times in those days, and I really just did it by going through the song section by section, and as I say, taking Winamp and just concentrating on here, this section, 14, 16, 17 seconds, and back again, and just replaying it over and over again, and just getting that section dead on. That's one way to do it. The other, which is a great way to start off and for things that are more generic, is if we hold down Shift, right, hold down Shift and press Record TC, Record Timecode. See what happens here. Raise the submaster and start pressing play. Now the play control, I'll turn up the volume, of this submaster with the cue. We can now press in time with the music, or to whichever part of the song you want it to act to. So now we've done that, it's recorded these times. The only one it didn't like is the first one's instantly jumped up. And you see this is a perfect example to show what this star means. This star is showing up an error. It's just the same as when you're creating a head file. Anytime you see a star like this, there's a problem. And its problem is the first cue, QID 1, is at 15 seconds. QID 2 is at 7. Well, 7 comes before 2, so that's temporarily impossible. So let's change this to another time. So we'll reduce this to before. And it goes away, and now everything works. If I'd done that, strange things happen to when you start playing back. So we'll play it with the error in. Stop it. Go. And you'll see strange things might happen. You see, it's just not happy at all with everything. Okay, so let's fix that. So we'll reduce this down to reduce, not increase. Section a bit-ish, 6.5-ish. Start raising up, press play, and you'll see it'll now go in order. And it's not going to be deadlocked on. But it's that simple. Okay? And these cues I've found, my little MQ60 will do cues right up to with 1 or 2 frames difference dead on every time. I'm quite impressed with how it works. And that's it. That's all there really is to timecode. What you've seen me do there is exactly the same as if it was from LTC, which is audio timecode, or MTC MIDI timecode using interface, or from Winamp. It's really just now down to you programming what you've got to program and getting it locked into the times. And that can be as simple or as complex as you like, or as the client's requiring. So just to prove the audio timecode works, LTC, I've got something set up here. LTC, if you don't know, is nothing other than an audio track, which sounds like this. It sounds horrific. And it's really irritating. So that basically means I can imagine we're syncing to a video with no audio. Well, we can set that. You can download these WAV files for free. I'll add a link to a generator that's great that I use. It'll just download WAV files the times you like into the description. But you can add, this for example is just a test video I use with media servers, but it's nothing other than the clock counting up, and the clock is synchronized to the audio file that I created, and it's just spewing out in the left and right. But we can start using this in more complex ways. For example, if you've got multi-track audio playback with a video file, you can use any video playback software, and the left and right audio channels can go to the sound guys, and the third and fourth channel, for example, can have MIDI timecode, or even the third channel MIDI timecode. Fourth channel can be a click track for a band, for example, and you can split things off, and you can take your timecode, and you're doing nothing other than babysit the light and desk while it works for you all night long. Anyway, so let's connect the XLR of my sound card into the the MIDI and timecode interface. Let's turn off the amp because that's really annoying, and press play. Oh, sorry, we'll need to go into the settings first. And instead of Winamp, we're taking LTC. Okay, and if I press play here on Screen Monkey, we'll see now Screen Monkey is the source. So that video file is adding into Chamsys. Nice and simple. It's slightly different because when you saw with Winamp, it was a little bit more intelligent. LTC timecode and MTC timecode can only react to the last signal received. Meaning we stopped, the last thing received was 8 seconds, 16 frames. Winamp will recognize exactly where the timer bar along the track is. So when you stop the track, it'll jump to 0, and it is sometimes a lot more useful and more user-friendly that way. However, once you're playing back a show, in programming it's a lot nicer, but when you're playing back a show, you're never going to be doing those jumps. It's not as important. It's just a synchronization device. So now we're not going to hear the audio. However, we can do the same thing. You see it's now waiting for that cue at 8 seconds. If I quickly start and stop, there we are. It's now starting back to it again. We'll refresh this. And again, now the source is that video file, which could be any video file. You know, we can even do various things like I can use this has got a really great example of a show I've done before. I've done this when a director wanted final hands-on control of his show. So I gave him ScreenMonkey, as you can see, with just WAV files for timecode. So he's pressing play. Well, he's not actually really manipulating the lights or the sound or anything. He's just pressing play and triggering timecode. But it gives him that hands-on feel he wants. But really, you can take control. Say if it was in Winamp, you can take final control and override him at any time you want from the console, you know, if he messes it up. So you're just giving him a little bit of control, but not full control, and not things that he can really mess up. But also, from another computer, I can start playing. For example, we can take WIDI timecode from Winamp into Magic Q, also playing back LTC WAV file, and I can send the physical audio from the laptop into a media server and synchronize to a video. It's that simple. Now from now on, the next stage is really just showing how to generate timecode with Magic Q. Now to do this, we have to go back into the settings and disable Winamp decoding. You can only do one at a time. It can either generate or it can receive. It's one thing or the other. And to do that, we just have to, I can just record a blank cue, so press record, we'll go into time Q2, press select, and we're using cue timing with timecode and external timecode. And if we go to the cue macros, if we select Q0 and we raise this up, the problem is it doesn't appear on screen, but that is now generating timecode out of the USB interface. So that now it's the other way around. So when we originally raised this up and we're waiting for timecode from now it's not going to work because we're not listening. But when we were, you know, to make this lightning show happen, I would raise the phaser and sit there and wait for someone to send me timecode. Now it's the other way around. Now it's me who's the guy that's triggering the show. But the end result is the same. I'd still have all my cue running down here with all the lights. But there you are. And that's it. Anyway, hope that's helped. Hope you enjoyed playing with that. It's a great little trick and it's a great little tool that lots of people lots of clients are now asking for more and more, that they want something that's synchronized with lights, and that's how to do it. Anyway, thanks for watching.